why you were able to have the night you guys wanted to have an offense?
The third down wasn't very good. We were 0 for our first, 8 or 9, it seemed like. So that put us in, behind 8 ball. Obviously, field position didn't help, but when you're backed up, you got to get a first down and a couple first downs, start to shift that. We didn't do that, turn the ball over too many times.
When you look at the third down struggles, is there a common thread or something you guys can work on during the week to try and correct some of what's been going wrong?
Yeah, there's some things we can work on, for sure.
What are some of those things?
I'm not going to tell you.
Let's talk about you guys overcoming the injuries to beat you. What do you feel like the capabilities of this team to counter the different things that teams throw at you guys week to week?
I have a lot of confidence in our ability to counter whatever anybody throws our way.
Aaron, would you like to see some more Jalen on third down? I know you mentioned getting him some more opportunities.
Yeah, I'd love to see Jalen on first, second, or third down, but I love seeing Kenny on first, second, third down too. So we got a luxury of those two guys. I think we need to keep getting Jalen more runs on first, second down, and mix him in on third down. But Kenny's done a great job on third down for us.
Aaron, you've had rough games before in your career. Everybody has. What have you learned over the last 20 years in terms of making sure one bad performance doesn't bleed into the next one?
It's just consistency. If the process is right, you don't have to make any major changes or freak out. It's the nature of the league. There's going to be a stinker every now and then. You just got to bounce back, get back to the things you do, and get back in your routine, and try and be better the next week.
What do you think it was? What do you chalk it up to? Just having a bad game on the
Well, they got a good defense. They clamped us down, and a couple of throws I usually hit, I missed. I think that's kind of the main reasons.
Does it help being back in division play and your faces?
One of you go. You go, then you go.
Johnny, would you like to get the ball to Johnny a little bit more potentially?
I like to get the ball to anybody who's open.
Does it help that you're going back into division play and playing somebody you just played 3-4 weeks ago?
Well, there's always a familiarity when you're playing in a division. They had a week off, so usually when you play a team off a bye, there's some wrinkles. So there'll be some unscouted looks, I'm sure. But at this point in the season, you're trying to run your best stuff, and they're trying to run their best stuff.
At this point, you've had MVS in practice for a week. Where you think as far as learning the offense and kind of fitting into what you guys are doing?
That's a good question for Arthur. I think that he's a smart guy. He's spent a lot of time studying, but we got to get him more reps with the first team to see where he's at.
When it comes to attacking downfield, obviously they're doing some things to try to take some of that away, but when you have opportunities, how do you evaluate the execution in those situations?
What do you mean?
I'm saying when you have opportunities to throw the ball downfield, how do you think that process is going?
Well, you got to look at every single one individually, and what the route was, what the throw was, what the coverage was, what the protection was. So, unless you get specific, I can't tell you give you an answer exactly what you're probably looking for.
What can you say about the concerted effort a lot of teams are throwing in to double up on DK? Like, there were plays where safety from the opposite side of the field was coming down on him fast and hard. And how you guys have to counter that?
Yeah, other guys got to get open and make plays because DK is a super talented guy, but we haven't been able to get him the targets that we want to because he's getting doubled every third down basically.
Kind of going off of that, Tomlin said that he's open to the possibility of MVS potentially playing here soon. Do you echo that sentiment, or where do you stand?
I mean, I love MVS. We got a lot of history together. If he's ready and he's showing in practice that he's got a grasp of the offense, and I'm sure they'll put him out there. But I got a lot of confidence in the way Roman has developed and Calvin. Scotty's coming back from an injury, so we'll see what his availability is like. But, yeah, if MVS is out there, I feel comfortable because I play with him a lot of snaps.
What does Scotty do so well? I mean, you've given him a lot of compliments, and then whenever you played with Brady gave him a lot of compliments too. What does Scotty do so well that gives you a reason to trust him?
Yeah, he runs and he catches. I mean, he runs fast and he catches the ball. But he's an unselfish guy and he's super smart. He knows the scheme and understands where he fits on all the progressions.
Like Tomlin said in the past, Pat's particularly proficient as a tight end against zone defenses. You guys had great success against Cincinnati with Pat last time out. Is that one hand in glove there? Is that part of the reason why, or is there something else that lends to Pat's success against the Bengals specifically?
I feel like he had more reps that game and more opportunities to be in the progression early in the progression. So I think I was a big part of it. But I mean, Pat's a really smart player, and we got to keep finding ways to get him on the field. You know, Darnell's been a big part of our success, you know, but we got to give Pat some more opportunities too, and maybe both of them out there at the same time.
Is there potentially a breakout play for Roman?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's a good play, but I think the adjustment he made in Green Bay was a better play than that one. He just kind of ran the route and caught it and ran fast. But, you know, to me, the better play was in Green Bay when he had a go route and just kind of broke his route off and pointed to the middle of the field and made a contested catch.
Chris Collinsworth said on the broadcast that Mike and Arthur wanted to move Darnell to tackle, and you stopped them and wanted to leave him at tight end. Is that how that went down? Is that your recollection?
That's not my recollection at all. No.
Anyone else?
Aaron, you know, you talk about the attention DK gets. We're at 9 games in now. You've had other guys step up intermittently, but the defense have not stopped giving DK that attention. Is this just maybe how it's going to be all season? And other teams not
Yeah, I would expect him to. DK is an A receiver. You know, he's a dominant player, and we need to find ways, even when he's getting doubled, to give him more targets. But when they double him the way they double him the other night, there's not as many opportunities as you might think.
Does that come down to needing to drop more different ways to isolate him to draw up more opportunities for other people, or do you think it is more about you guys just needing to be able to execute better in the route running and getting people open?
I think it's all that. Yeah, it's all that.
What was the conversation, or just how do you help Roderick Jones? It seemed like early on he gave up a few early pressures, and there were just moments that kind of ruined his third down opportunities. What do you say as a guy that was called up for receiving protections, and what you guys can do to improve up front?
Well, I don't care, who's playing left tackle or right tackle. It's always nice to give those guys some chip help from time to time. So, maybe we help those guys out on the road. At home with our cadence, you expect the defense to not be able to get the same kind of jump off the ball. But, I'm proud of the way Broderick has played the last 7-8 games. I think he's played really solid.